Morning guys, hey, it's Len from Procurement Garage and Outdoors. Well, we're on the road today, making a little trip to get something for the woodshed. And I don't know if you can see it back there. It's kind of bright, but there it is. That's going to be the siding for the woodshed. And they are 1x6x8, and some of them are a little longer. Rough cut pine, and I have 100 of them. And I hope that's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be though. So we might be making another trip to get some more. But we're going to start with that, see how it goes, see where it ends up. And it's green, so I'm going to leave a little gap in between because of shrinkage and all that. So I want to end up with a little bit of a gap for airflow. But let's get them home. We'll take a closer look at them and we'll go from there. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, guys, well, we made it back to the wood yard, and let me tell you, it's a hot one. And I don't know what it's like where you guys are at. I'm sure it's hot everywhere, but this has been nuts. It's brutal out here, and we are actually on the tail end of the hot streak, I think. But it's still going to be in the low 90s and brutal. So at least we have a little bit of a breeze out here. I'm in the shade. And it's not awful, but it's only 10 o'clock in the morning too, so it's just going to get worse. But let me show you what I got here. I got 100 pieces of 1x8x6 or 1x6x8 pine from a local mill. Actually, he's a couple hours away from me. It was about a 2-hour round trip to get this, and he was very reasonable in his prices compared to what was nearby me here in town. So I made the trip out there, asked him to do up 100 boards for me, and he did. And these things are really nice. I mean, there's a couple of them that have some bend to them, and he said that too, but he gave me extras to make up for the ones that aren't the greatest. And a lot of these too are longer than 8 feet, so I can kind of put those on the peak end of the woodshed, the higher part where it's a little higher. So that'll work out great. But like I said, I don't think I'm going to have enough, and I'm not sure how much of a gap I want to leave between these. He said it's, they're freshly cut, but I don't know, they seem kind of dry to me. He said too, there's some of them are fairly dry already, and I could tell by the weight when we loaded these that they're not real heavy. So I'm going to do some calculating here and figure out if 100 is going to be enough and what kind of gap I'm going to need to leave, and we'll go from there. Morning guys, hey, it's Len again. Well, it's the following day from when I started my video, and we got kind of rained out yesterday and overheated. As you know, we're kind of in the middle of a heat wave right now. It's brutal. And it's cooler today, but it's still very muggy, very humid. But it's still, we got to get done in that shed. We got to get going on the siding. So that's what we're going to do today. And as you can see, I got my tools back there on the bed of the golf cart. And we're heading out to the wood yard. But we're taking it slow because, man, like I said, it's still muggy out, and I've been struggling with this heat, just like the rest of you guys, and trying to stay hydrated and whatnot. And I don't know, the water just doesn't seem to cut it anymore. So kind of curious, what do you guys drink when you have to work outside in this kind of heat? It's like Gatorade or Powerade. I like to stay away from those kind of things, even though they taste good. I don't know that they work the best as far as replenishment, especially the ones with sugar. So just curious what you guys drink. I've heard people that drink that liquid IV, I think it's called. I've heard good things about that. But I got a few things here I want to show you that I purchased recently, and hopefully they'll work for me. All right, stay tuned. Well, before we talk about hydration and water and whatnot, what you guys drink, I just want to show you my progress that I've done on the shed. I've done some strapping along the top. I started to do that front and back. I got that completed, and I started my second row here just using 2x4s. Those will work just fine. It's probably overkill. I think this shed pretty much everything on it I've done has been overkill. But I'm okay with that. But that's what I've done so far. I've got some, as you remember, I did my flooring, my big pallets that I built. Those are working out good so far. So we'll see how that lasts long term. But here's my siding. I got 5 boards up and I'm using screws because, like I said, I don't have power out here. I mean, I could wheel my generator out here, but I'm just not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go with the screws. Like I've said numerous times here, I'm building this patterned after Outdoors with the Morgans. Mike Morgan built a shed very similar to this, and he used screws pretty much throughout, and it's still standing, so that's good enough for me. But these are 1 by 6 by 8 that I'm trimming down to fit. And like I said, I got 5 of them on, and so far so good. I really like them. And I had earlier in this video, I showed you my trip to where I got these. It's a couple hours away. Actually, it's a 2-hour round trip. Not bad, but I got a good deal on them. So, and the guy was really nice. And one other thing that I've done, I squared up my trusses, rafters. Keep calling them trusses. Squared up my rafters to, flush. So when I put my end board on there, my fascia, it'll be nice and straight. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. I did that front and back. Still got a decent overhang here. So everything's coming along nicely. All right, real quick here, guys. I'm just gonna talk about hydration for a second here and how important it is in weather like this to stay hydrated. I don't know, what I do is after I have my morning coffee, that's not a good way to stay hydrated, but I need my morning coffee. I'll usually load up with water just before I come out and just get a good saturation of water in me to get me started for the day. And then when I'm in the wood yard, I usually drink like a Powerade or a Gatorade, even though those probably aren't the greatest. I definitely drink the ones with no sugar. And so far, they've been okay, but I think I'm gonna start switching to something like this. This is called Essential, and it's kind of a replenishment drink that I've heard good things about. It's just basically just unflavored water with some essentials in there for replenishment and things like that. And also I've heard some good things about Liquid IV. I haven't tried that yet. And I also bought something just today. It's called Body Armor IV. I think that's what it's called. I didn't bring it out here with me because it's in the fridge cooling off. But these are the 2 that I'm gonna try, Essential and Body Armor. And I may look into that Liquid IV. But what do you guys do? What do you guys do to stay hydrated and stay safe outdoors on days like this? Let me know in the comments. I like it. I think this stuff's gonna be nice. It's not perfectly straight, and where it's not straight, I'm okay with, because it's giving me a gap. And I'm just butting the ends up where they're touching. And it's giving me a little bit of gap. Not perfectly straight, like I said, but this stuff will shrink a little bit more and create a little bit more of a gap, I think. Not much, but it'll be good enough. Give me some airflow. But man, it's hot out here. I only got 2 boards up. I'm drenched. You guys are wondering how I'm charging my batteries out here. I purchased one of these little bad boys recently. Jackery. It's a Jackery 300. And this thing's perfect for charging up phones, charging up power tool batteries. Anything under 300 watts, basically, is what this thing's rated for. And it works out great. Like I said, I don't have power out here, and I need something to charge my batteries rather than running from here to the pole barn to get a battery. I just purchased this little bad boy. It's a Jackery Explorer 300, and I highly recommend something like that if you guys are working in the wood yard and need to charge up your power tools. Works great. All right, guys, well, it's really slow going here, but during my last water break, I rebooted my brain. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, well, let's head up this ladder here and show you what I came up with after the reboot. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. With this first, I don't know, what do we got here? 7 boards. For some reason, I was cutting these at an angle to match these rafters. And after the reboot, I realized I don't need to do that. So these last 2, you can see what I'm doing now. I'm just leaving these square. These are all going to be hidden. I'm going to put a soffit here. Either way, doesn't really matter. Now, it's saving me quite a bit of time doing it this way, rather than putting it up here, marking a line, taking it back down, cutting the angle. Now it's one and done. Much smoother process, and that's how it goes. Sometimes you just need to do a little reboot. All right, well, now that my brain's back in order, let's get going again. Something that I'm noticing as I'm going along here is I have grossly misjudged the amount of screws I'm going to be using. What I have is the Deckmate 2-inch lifetime warranty screws. These things grab really nice, and being 2 inches, they work great. They don't go through anywhere, and I think they're going to hold really well. The only thing is, like I said, I misjudged the quantity big time. Should have got the big box. Perfect. All right, guys, well, here it is. Let's see here. let's see where we're at. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-foot sections, and we got 2 done. So we are, what, 2/7 of the way through? 2/7. Is that even a fraction? I think so. But it's coming together nicely. Really like this rough sawn pine that I got from Doug and Thomas. And if you're watching, thank you. Thank you, thank you. This stuff is really, really nice. I can't wait to get a stain on it to see how it really looks done. But real pleased with the way this is going together. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for me today. All my batteries are dead. My Jackery's dead. And I'm dead. I'm wore out. But we're going to call it quits for today. Made some good progress, I think. Weather held off, and it's not as hot as it was previous days, so that's good. But anyway, guys, hopefully you're enjoying this. If you are, please subscribe. Please give me a like. Leave a comment. If you think I'm doing anything wrong or can do anything any better, shoot me a comment. I'd appreciate it, guys. And remember, find your thing. Have a good one.